Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cinemondo podcast. Kathy, Mark, and Burk. Something pretty momentous happened yesterday. We heard about the writers' strike. The writers struck, and all work in Hollywood, where we all work, came to an end, like an end. No paychecks, nothing, no work. And it affected everybody I know just about. And and the whole industry. It's a pretty big deal. A lot of people think about the strike as being this, like, writers being greedy, asking for more money, and they're already wealthy, rich people, but they're not.
No,
not all of them.
No, they're not.
Then the actors went on strike, and people were like, "Oh, it's all the rich actors wanting more money. They're so greedy." But no, most actors. I know a lot of actors, and I know a lot of actors who live in studio apartments, and they struggle and they work their butts off to get the hours to keep their health insurance,
Right.
So the strike isn't about rich people wanting, getting greedy and wanting more money. It's about working people who provide you with your entertainment that you love so much.
That's right.
Getting a fair deal.
Yeah. And what happened was, so they've been on strike for like 4 or 5 months. And what happens is all these other ancillary businesses that are attached to production, whether it's caterers like myself, or special effects people like Burk, or people that work in marketing like Kathy, it all sort of slows down. Other people lose their jobs, or all of a sudden, there's pay cuts and this and that, or business just goes away. So it sort of spreads out and affects a lot of Los Angeles, which is the hub, the industry hub here. So it was really tough, and people were getting evicted out of their apartments and having to just change their lives or get jobs, doing whatever they can to make ends meet. So it's great that, the writers' strike ended maybe about a month ago or 3 weeks ago. And then SAG-AFTRA, the actors' strike, is still going on. And they finally came to an agreement with the production company. So it's all good news for everybody here in LA. We're going to
officially ended yesterday. So no more, we're not on strike. And I had a Zoom meeting with the crew of place where I work, and we were all very, back to smiling. And it's like a normal gearing up time right now, where sometimes we're between shows or something like that. But it's like people are talking about the idea of the studios getting back to work like immediately, as fast as possible.
Scheduling right now. And the thing is, the whole landscape of entertainment has changed. With streaming, everything changed. So before TV, actors would get a TV show, and then a show would be on for so long, and they would get residuals. They would get money for every time the show was played, because all these other markets would buy the series. And Friends, for instance, since we'll talk about that since Matt Perry died. It's like Friends has been sold worldwide. Now all the Friends actors get a little piece of that. And then as it got closer to, later on, the deals got more and more generous with the actors for using them in repeats, basically.
Right.
But when streaming came along, they didn't have those deals, because it was a whole different market. There was no rating system for streaming. They just kind of have subscribers. No one's really keeping track. No one shares the information. So actors are on these big shows, and they're not getting compensated. It's not fair that this new where all these studios and streamers are making all this money, that these actors who are putting all their work and creativity into it, that they wouldn't be getting paid the same like they used to, in a way. So they had to kind of redesign the whole deal making process here, because we have AI coming in, we have the streamers who are making all the money, and so they need a little piece of that. And it's not to be greedy, but just so they could actually make a living, like you're talking about. We know actors who are on shows that are not making a living.
And same with writers.
And writers too.
They'll get paid for that one episode that they write on,
and that's fine.
That's it. So that show,
even if you create characters and those characters live on in other episodes, you're like, that was my idea, and there's a lot of talk to, what you're saying about the people that are talking about people just wanting more money and all that. And it's like, they do. But the thing is, understanding how, I think a lot of people don't understand or don't, or apply a different, I don't know. They think actors and writers, they're rich people, Hollywood. But what happens is, like, what if you invented something like a widget of some kind, and you created that for a company, and then they said, oh, thank you for creating that for us. Now we're going to go market it and sell it. And then the company is making tons. They're making, like, in this case, billions of dollars off of that thing that you created.
Yep.
And they only paid you $1,000 to create it. And some people might say, wow, $1,000 sounds like a lot of money. But it's like, compared to what the company is making with your product, it's not. And if they're making billions of dollars off of something that you created, you need to get a really big cut of that.
Right.
And also the lack of permanence for these jobs. Like, you might be on a show for 8 episodes, so you make money for, a couple of months, and then there's nothing. Same with writers. So it's not a guarantee.
Very off and on. Yeah.
Right. And
as
that's
far as why there's unions in this industry. I'm a member of the union. I've been in several unions in my career, and when you look at the history of Hollywood before the unions, anyone who criticizes unions has never actually, I think, worked, because in an industry where people get taken advantage of and exploited like crazy. You look at the pre-union Hollywood days, and the way people were worked to death, and they were like, well, you're working on a movie, you should be happy to get paid. It's good experience, you'll learn, and you'll get your name in the credits and all that, but here's your dollar, and here's your complete lack of safety on the set. And when they brought in regulations, again, regulations are so important, because you see when people don't follow the regulations, and horrible things happen on sets. But unions help with all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I'll just say that my neighbor works for Wolf Entertainment. They do all the Law and Order. She's a writer. She started working like a month ago. They're ramped up, ready to shoot like next week. And they're like so there's these well-oiled machines that are ready to go. Some shows will take longer to get up and running.
Yeah. And I need to start marketing these shows. I need to start marketing movies and shows. Get them going.
I need to make them first, and then we'll send them over to you.
Exactly.
That one quick thing about the AI issue that people hear about, I think a lot of people have heard that and they may not understand it, but really quickly, what that is, I remember in the 90s when they started doing digital scans where they'd get an actor in their wardrobe, like some science fiction show, with makeup or wardrobe. Imagine Mr. Spock or something, and they'd put him on like a turntable, and they do this scan. They turn him around and scan the whole thing, and they did that for marketing, and they did it for merchandise, and also for like action figures and things. But now they do that, and you got paid for that. Some people would make deals where if my likeness is used in marketing, I get paid. And folks, there's a reason why folks like you never see a toy that looks like Harrison Ford or certain other actors. You never see you'll see an action figure of Han Solo, but it doesn't look like him, so because he didn't authorize that. But now they're doing that kind of scanning to create a digital model that you can pose, like a CGI model that you can pose, and you can animate it. So you could like if you have a series that's like 10 episode series, first episode has a scene where the main character goes into a bar, and the bartender is in the background and walks around, and it's played by an actor that you may recognize, like a really cool actor playing the bartender. So then they do a digital scan of that actor, and then episode 2, the scene takes us back into that bar. If they have a digital model of that guy, they don't need to hire the actor again. They don't need to pay him again for a performance of his likeness in the show. And this is a simplified version of what they're talking about, but the actors are striking because that's me in the show, and yet I'm not getting called in to work. I'm sitting here at home trying to get my number of hours a week to keep my benefits, and to get a paycheck, and they are using me in these 10 episodes. There's, and they watch the show. It's like, that's me. I'm the bartender, and I'm not getting paid. So what they want is to make even digital scans scans, a residual situation, and paying more for submitting to the scan.
Yeah.
Right.
And which is a good thing, because what it does in some cases is it makes the producers say, you know what, it might be more cost effective if we just pulled the actor in and got them to do a performance. Maybe they'll bring something special to it because they're good actors.
And they're
That's right.
humans. Yeah,
They're human beings. They're going to bring
Support
the
people.
reality to the role instead of just this digital model that's standing back there that was animated by an animator.
Well, AI is still has some challenges. There's still a lot of, they're trying to define it. They're trying to figure out how it works, where it came from. A lot of AI is based on previous works from people. So it's an ongoing battle. This isn't really over, but thank God. At least this is over. It's only, you guys, 3 years. It's only 3 years. Then we got to do this all over again.
Some of the things that they're doing are going to be set in stone. You know, the 3-year contract is going to come up, and there's going to be things that they can't change. So
they can't change. But still, I hope we don't have to go through another strike in 3 years. I'm hoping.
I think
Everybody share the wealth. That's what I'm saying.
I think this covered a lot of things, and a lot of things are locked in now, which is great.
Excellent. Well,
so we're all feeling pretty giddy because yay, the strike is over. It was like this thing hanging over our heads. I'm really happy for the actors and writers that they're getting fair treatment, and I'm glad the studio saw their way to it.
And guess what? New TV shows now are in the pipeline. You'll start seeing those early next year, and that's good for everybody.
More content.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks
you
very much.
guys.